We all make mistakes. Some are small, some are large. But his mistake, born of innocence, fueled by pride, was the greatest and most terrible of them all.
So let's talk about Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones, which is the third game in the new Prince of Persia series. So Sands of Time basically redefined the action platforming genre, right? It created this game with a lot of style, a great sense of art direction, terrific music, cool voice acting, and an actual story that you wanted to experience from front to back. And even though the platforming segments were fantastic, the combat left much to be desired. Ubisoft, trying to sell more and fix problems in the first game, created Warrior Within, which was an extension of Sands of Time, albeit darker, grittier, and with a heavier emphasis on combat. Unfortunately, those additions ruined the experience for die-hard fans, while making the series itself appeal more to the casual gamer. So with Two Thrones, Ubisoft is trying to combine the better aspects of both titles and incorporate some new mechanics into a new game, and it largely works really damn well. First, you should know that the music and the voice have gone right back to Sands of Time style. They're both excellent. They're no longer hard rockin' beats like Godsmack. It's totally appropriate. It has that stereotypically Persian, themed tunes to it with a little Moroccan mix in there. But they're also creepy sounds too, to represent the changes that the prince is undergoing. That's actually another big part of the game. These changes, this dark prince that corrupts him and evolves through him, gives players insight into the main character. So basically, by seeing the bad parts of the prince, we get to appreciate the good parts. We get to see the conflict within him. It's I always say it's learning about Dr. Jekyll by seeing what Mr. Hyde does. Unfortunately, the gameplay that comes along with the Dark Prince isn't all that exciting. His chain gives you an opportunity to swing from larger gaps and pull blocks and the sort, but the actual combat isn't any more extravagant than the normal princes. It's supposed to be designed to give you a sense of empowerment, but when you go into these fights, you feel kind of haphazardly slashing around like a douchebag. It's like the Prince of Persia is not designed to kill goblins randomly. He's designed to be gracefully running around the walls. Now, if they wanted to deliver a greater sense of empowerment, they should have made the Dark Prince more powerful. He should have been able to toss enemies around like rag dolls. He should have instantly slashed through them. He shouldn't have to deal with these stupid goblin after goblin encounters, so here comes more sand monsters, better press the circle button on PS2 anyway, 100 million times so that I wheel this stupid ass chain around my head. And that really hurts this otherwise terrific game that has this amazing sense of flow. But thankfully, it doesn't hurt it that much because some of the other additions that we're seeing.
Why is it that every time disaster strikes, I find myself without a proper blade?
Biggest of those other additions is a new quick kill, speed kill system. Quick killing helps expand the platforming by incorporating combat directly into it. Basically, you, as the prince, you want to gain a vantage point over your enemies so that you can come upon them unawares and immediately kill them. Now, this at once, if you really think about it, it does away with the tedious combat system that we've seen and been criticizing in the original Prince of Persia that they granted tried to expand in Warrior Within by allowing you to very quickly dispatch enemies. It also gives the prince a really lethal quality, and there's something satisfying about being able to immediately kill someone with a cool mini-game, It expands the sense of flow that you get. You move from platforming, swing, run, climb, slide down, chimney-looking thing, jump out, bam, stab him in the back of the neck. Keep going, don't stop, don't worry about the fighting, don't worry about some odd collision detection, go right into the next platforming segment. So instead of Warrior Within's attempt to make the combat more interesting by having you fight these random dudes throughout the clock tower level, you're actually platforming in Two Thrones to give you a better way of killing these dudes. It's not like they're thrown in there just to break up the platforming. They're actually thrown in there to make the platforming better. And I think this is a terrific idea, and it really helps the series, and it's exactly where they needed to go, and I seriously applaud them for that. The other additions include better boss battles and the new Chariot Race. The Chariot Race is pretty quick, and it's a little trial and error intensive, but it's a fun way of moving Prince from point A straight to point D and skipping B and C in the middle. It's like a quick, let's get to the Tower of Babylon and not have to worry about another rooftop scene. So it works in that sense. The bosses, however, are way better. way better than Warrior Within, and obviously better than Sands of Time's non-existent bosses. This time you'll have bosses that are multi-tiered stages that incorporate platforming, speed kill systems, and regular pattern-based combat, discovering a weakness, exploiting it, going for the knees, running around, speed kill. Bam, it's good. So as you might have guessed, there's a lot of good in Two Thrones. A lot of good. It's a great game. It's categorically great. But it's just not perfect. It's just not that above great kind of excellence, because their addition of the Dark Prince, it kind of seriously deters from the pacing of the game. It thrusts you into this role that you don't necessarily want to play as. You're constantly losing health, and you're not the character you want to be. In concept, storytelling through both of these characters is great. We just wish they would have worked out the gameplay of the Dark Prince more. Then we would have had an easy contender for Game of the Year. As is, I suppose we have to settle on simple greatness.